The first thing you need to know when tramming a milling machine is how to make adjustments. When tramming the front and back of the table, you will be tilting the head up and down. To do this, first you will want to loosen the 3 bolts on the side of the milling machine. Once you have loosened them, you want to tighten them 1/4 of a turn. You don't want them to be too loose, but you don't want them to be too tight where you won't be able to make adjustments. To actually make front and back adjustments, you will need to turn this bolt. You will need to know how the head will move in relation to which direction the bolt is turned. On this machine, turning the bolt clockwise will move the head down, and turning it counterclockwise will move the head up. When making left to right adjustments, you will follow the same process as before, except you will loosen the 4 bolts on the front and then adjust this bolt. To begin tramming, first you will want to extend the quill and then take a machinist square and line it up against the quill. You will then want to adjust the head like I showed before until there is no light showing between the quill and the square. Next, take a marker and mark your test points. This step is optional, but it makes your tests a little bit more consistent and makes the job a bit easier. Now take a dial test indicator and mount it to the spindle. Set it so that it remains in contact with the table when it does a full rotation. If the probe loses contact with the table in the front or the back, you will want to move the table down, move the dial test indicator down, and then adjust the table accordingly until the probe stays completely within the table. Move the dial test indicator to the starting point. Adjust the indicator until it reads 0. Now slowly rotate the dial test indicator to your ending point, opposite of your starting point. Do this carefully. Avoid knocking the probe when you pass over the T-slots. Next, take a wrench and adjust the correct bolt to make proper adjustments for your direction. These are the adjustments that I demonstrated earlier in the video. Be very careful when making adjustments. You don't want to go too far. You want to adjust the bolt until the indicator reads halfway between the starting number and 0. Once the adjustments are made, adjust the indicator so that it lifts off the table. Spin it back to the starting point and reset the 0. Repeat this process until your dial test indicator reads 0 on both of the sides you are working with. As you can see, the front and back is now finished. It reads within 1/1000th of an inch, which is what my requirements were. Now, just retighten the correct bolts that you loosened at the start. Now just follow the exact same steps that you did for the first side. By the time you're finished, the indicator should read 0 all the way around the work table. At this point, your milling machine should be trammed. Just check one more time to make sure that your measurements are right and make sure that all your bolts are tightened.